Okay, sharing my screen. Give me a 1 second. Good. So last time around, I had given you, I guess, the brief idea about the time value of money, the various perspectives to look at it. Now I have decided to take the time value of money after the two sessions because I want to cover up one more concept just before the time value of money. Now that concept is called as the agency theory. Now, first of all, what this concept is all about, why it is important for us to learn it in the financial management, what does it really stand for, what do we first mean by the. Now, let me give you a very simple example. I'll not be taking it by too much complicated arguments. Let me take a very simple example. Say, there is a one student of us who is the CR of our class. Now, I have said to that CR that, CCR, you will have to just a minute. Right. So that CR will be handling the assignments and projects that would be eventually submitted to the faculty members, say me. But I have allocated that responsibility to that class representative, and that fellow will be taking the assignments from all the people who will be gathering it. Then he will be making, a one list that who has submitted, who hasn't submitted it. He will also be writing the date on which the submission took place. And once this entire paper gets ready, he would come to me and he would present it to me that, sir, these are the assignments we have received from this many students on this specific dates. Now, there are various other technological tools as well to collect the assignments. I'm not going into that as of now. I'm just giving you one very simple example. Now, if such kind of thing happens, then that CR would be in such kind of a position where some of the information only he would be having. Me as a faculty member would not be aware about so many things which might have taken place in my absence. Now, if some of the students would have submitted the assignments late, CR might have the authority to manipulate those dates. Some of the students might not have submitted me the assignments, but CR would have said that, the assignments are received. Now, that happens because there is a information asymmetry. I'm using the words very carefully. Information asymmetry. That means the information which I have is not symmetrical to the information which the class representative is having. Both of us have a different set of information. One fellow enjoys the great amount of information because he is into it, he is into that business, he is aware about the pros and cons of it, he is aware about the minute details of it, he is aware about his right and responsibility, he is aware about how this entire process of the assignment is taking place. He is too much aware about the things that information I may not be having. There is a chance of if there is a problem with the integrity of the class representative. Similarly, my friends, such kind of an issues arises in the management of the company as well. There are two stakeholders, namely, between them the conflict may take place. One is the shareholders, another one is the management. Many of us have the great misunderstanding that shareholders and management both are same. No, they both are different. They both are not same. I am not saying that no shareholder can be appointed as a director. I am not saying that. I am not saying that no shareholder can enjoy any position in the company as an official. No. Mr. Mukesh Ambani also enjoys the managing directorship of the Reliance Industries Limited. But it is believed, it has been said, it has been believed among the people of the finance fraternity that management and shareholders both are different. The chief executing officers you appoint, the chief financial officers you appoint, the board of directors who are involved into the minute details of the companies, those all are the part of the management. While shareholders are playing a very passive role, shareholders might not be having the information which management carries. Management is into the business. They are aware about each and everything related to the business. They know that which kind of the information might affect their market prices. They are aware about the price sensitive information about its stocks. Now you can imagine the kind of the conflict may took place. Now who are the ultimate beneficiaries if the price of any security might go up? The ultimate beneficiaries are the shareholders. Now who are the people who have that particular information in a very minute detail? They are aware about some of the very secret things, some of the price sensitive information which might affect the market price of the share tremendously. They are the management. Management might be in the tremendous pressure to share such kind of an information with the shareholders if the shareholders possess the significant control over the company in terms of the shareholding. Now, why management, first of all, would be obliged to follow the instructions of the shareholders? Because management can be removed by the shareholders. If the director is appointed, if director is to be removed from his appointment, from his office, my dear friends, there can be the special resolution or the ordinary resolution as the case may be, that can be passed, and shareholder can remove the director from the managerial position. The ultimate control over the company in terms of various things remains with the shareholders, and that is where the conflict arises. Number two conflict arises between the two is, my dear friends, management is aware about, as I have already stated, the price sensitive information. Shareholders are very passive kind of a people. They might not be having the very detailed understanding about the company. Management may take the undue advantage of the lack of knowledge of shareholders. If management will start using the perquisites for their own benefits from the company's money, if they would start diverging the company's funds for their personal betterment, what will happen to the shareholders? Those kind of the decisions might not be in the best of the interest of the shareholders. मैनेजमेंट में छगनलाल काम करते थे, छगनलाल मगनलाल को जानते थे. छगनलाल ने प्रेशर करवाया कि कॉन्ट्रैक्ट देना है तो सिर्फ मगनलाल को ही देना है और किसी को कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं देना. छगनलाल ने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दिलवा दिया मगनलाल को, जो मगनलाल इतना कैपेबल नहीं था. If that Maganlal was not capable to take that contract, even though the contract was given to Maganlal, just because he was the relative, he was the person known to the Chaganlal, that might not be in the best of the interest of the shareholders. Let me clarify this further. This has nothing to do with the Rafale contract offered to Anil Ambani. What I'm trying to say to all of you over here is that shareholders and management might be in the constant conflicts. The kind of the information which management possesses, my dear friends, is tremendous. That can affect the market prices significantly. Now, there are certain corporate governance frameworks, there are certain rules and regulations established by the Securities and Exchange Board of India, Companies Act 2013. They have imposed the restrictions on share of such kind of information. If the price sensitive information is leaked unduly before the time, before it is been made available to the entire public at large, then it can be the case of the insider trading. And if it is proven that there is a case of the insider trading, my dear friends, the penalty can be heavily charged. The penalties can go up to crores of rupees. Whatever the profits that you have earned from the insider trading, you would be able to, you will be forced to pay the penalties 5 or 6 times of the profits that you have made, or some amount in crores, whichever is higher. That is the provision given by the Companies Act as well as the Securities and Exchange Board of India, who is controlling this kind of transactions. There are many things in the place, but not everything can be controlled. You cannot have the CCTV camera on everyone 24/7. There would be some or other kind of information that might get leaked from the management side, and there would be some business houses, finance houses, who might be having this information prior and well in advance. They might start taking the position even before any such price sensitive information is out to public. There is the asymmetry in the information. The free market economy, we assume that there is a symmetry between the symmetry for the information. That means the information is freely available to everyone. But do you feel that you people have the same kind of information which the business houses are having related to the company? Now, to bridge this gap, the laws and regulations have started, you know have started putting tremendous amount of efforts in last many number of years, but still the bridge is not kept entirely. That is where the agency theory starts. Now there can be, now who are the agent? First of all, I'm using this word agency. I have used it quite a few number of times. Agents are the people who are in the management. So all the people who are in the management are considered to be the agents. Agents of whom? Agents of principal. Who are the principal? Principal are the people who are the shareholders, who are the ultimate owners of the company. Just now in your WhatsApp group, I have shared one case study. You would also be referring that case study. We'll be discussing the various things of the case study in the upcoming session to come. But before that, you should all be reading that. That is a very famous case study of Ratan Tata versus Cyrus Mistry. That is also the classic example of the clash between the shareholders' interest and the management interest. Now, what kind of the other conflict which may take place? The conflict can be related to the dividend. Now, shareholders might be constantly pressuring the management to give the dividend to the shareholders, because ultimately dividend is paid to the shareholders, right? More and more dividend they have, better and better cash flow they would be having. But management, who is aware about the financial consequences of it, might be reluctant to pay the dividend. Management might be wanting the dividend, my friend, for the further expansion and the maintenance of the company. There can be the communication gap between the management and the shareholders. It's not better. I have always said it quite a few number of times. It shouldn't be measured in a way that all the companies which pays the dividend are the better companies than the companies which does not pay the dividend. No, if you have any such kinda assumption in your mind, please remove it. If the companies are having the great expansion prospects, why the dividend should be distributed to the shareholders? Companies are already having the financial experts. They know how to utilize their money well. They are aware about the pros and cons of giving the dividend to the shareholders. So whether to pay the dividend or not, that can be the conflict. Up to what amount the dividend should be paid to the shareholders, again that can be a conflict. Conflict between the management and the shareholders. Number two, this management who are having the greater information related to the company might be utilizing that information. I'm using the word misutilizing that information for their personal benefits. Increase in their managerial cost, increase in their salaries, the perquisites that might be enjoying. कंपनी ने बिजनेस ट्रिप के लिए पैसे दिए थे, मालूम था कि ये भाई तो उड़न, हर एक्सपेंस के ऊपर आप कंट्रोल नहीं रख सकते. कंपनी हैड गिवन द कार to the management to utilize it for the business trips and the business purposes, but this fellow is taking his spouse to Kanyakumari and Kerala, and he is enjoying the perquisite for the personal benefits of it. I'm not saying that the perquisites are always given for the business purposes. No, the perquisites can also be given for personal purposes too. I'm not saying that it can be only for the business, but if the perquisites are given only for the business purposes, if the management utilize it for their personal purposes, who will be able to control it? Do shareholders have the enough information? Facts which are supposed to give the other people. If the management would be favoring the people who are their relatives, who are their, who are their sagawalas, conflicts that may take place. It can be related to the dividend payment, as I've already stated. It can be related to the personal perquisites which the management are enjoying, the allowances which management is enjoying. It can be related to the misutilization of the information which management is possessing. Say, if one of the persons from your management leaks your very price sensitive information, which is not out to public yet, to some of the finance houses, what will happen? How you can control the flow of such information? I'm not saying that it is legal. No, it's illegal only. But you cannot have the 24/7 surveillance camera on everyone. Some of the informations will always be leaked. How to control that if there is no integrity from the management side? That's why, my dear friends, I am the great follower of this quote given by Mr. Warren Buffett. Is that you look for the three things in a person. One can be the energy, another one can be the intellect, and third one is the integrity. If that fellow does not possess the integrity, do not bother for the first two. Integrity is something which is the precondition for the success. If you are able to remain up to your words, if you are ethical in your nature, you know your rights and responsibilities well, whatever you are saying, you are living up to whatever you are saying. That's the integrity. You are maintaining your words. You are to remain as much honest possible from your side. That's the integrity. Many of the people's shareholders invest in some specific companies because they find that the governance and the management is very dynamic. So integrity is something which holds too much of weight in your investing decision. How fairly, how honestly the management is responding to the crisis. लेकिन आपको सिर्फ मैनेजमेंट की गलतियां छुपानी ही है. कंपनी अच्छा परफॉर्म नहीं कर रही है, फिर भी आपको इंटीग्रिटी नहीं दिखानी है. Over a long period of time, this approach might not be suitable to you, because it's not possible to control each and every activity of the individual. It's not possible to take the control of each and every actions taken by the individual. It's not possible. You will have to believe on that person, and you can believe on that person only if that person, that fellow, possesses the integrity to the great level. हर्षद मेहता में डायलॉग है ना, वो एक ट्रस्ट वाला, क्या है मेरे को भूल गया, किसी को याद आ रहा है? द स्कैम 1992. सबसे महंगी चीज क्या है? ट्रस्ट है. वो गवा दी तो रिकवर होना मुश्किल है. Now, how to remove these problems? Can someone suggest me the ideas that how to remove these problems? You know, this communication gap between the two. One party is enjoying a lot of information that might take the undue advantage of that information. Now, shareholders might pressurize the management to pay the more amount of dividend, but at that time, management might be right on their stance. Now, how to remove such kind of the conflicts? What can be the possible way out? May I have the interaction from the students, please? Let's interaction from all of you. I hope you have understood this agency problem. You have any queries or questions related to the agency problem? Let me know. Or may I have the confirmation from the students, please, that you are absolutely crystal clear about this agency problem? Am I audible to all of you? No messages I'm able to see over here. Shareholders can assign agency for that. Okay. Good. So you have understood till this point of time. What I'm trying to ask you now is that how to remove this agency problem. The conflicts which may arise between the management and between the shareholders, how to remove that problem. What can be the efficient way out? Inviting your suggestions for this. Let's have the interaction. Let's not make it the monologue, you know, where just I am speaking and you people are listening. ये भाषण नहीं है बेटा, ये discussion है. You can raise your point at any point of time whenever you feel. Yes, Mr. Jigar, please move ahead.
Sir, according to me, one person or a team of persons should be hired to monitor the activities of the company. And he should not be the part of the management. In fact, he should be the representative among the shareholders.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Controlling activities of the management. How activities of the management can be controlled? By what mechanisms? It can be controlled by appointing some outside people. Outside people are already, some of the frameworks are already there at a place, like auditors. Now, basically what auditors tries to see that whether everything in the company related to the accounting practices are properly going on or not. There are internal audits performed, there are statutory audits performed. The limitation of the statutory audit is that their primary focus is to see that whether the financial statements of the company are giving the true and fair view or not. So when I say true and fair view, that means they are not consisting any frauds, they do not possess any fraudulent transactions or some transactions which are not permitted by the accounting standards. But the internal audit, the scope of the internal audit can be expanded further. It can also be the appropriate checks on whether the systems that we have placed in the company are properly functioning or not, whether the approvals and authorities which are supposed to be taken from the people are opted on a timely manner or not, whether there is any breach of authorities, what are the potential areas where the frauds may occur, where the responsibilities are given to solely few individuals. When the powers are concentrated, my dear friends, at that time there is a great chance of the fraudulent practice that may occur. So there has to be the proper check that whether the proper authorities are given and whether the proper sanctions were taken before taking any decision or not. And if one fellow has the tremendous amount of powers to take some kind of the decisions where the fraudulent practice may take place, then are there any control and checks over him? Is there any verification of the transaction done by the other people? Say I have given the one power of cash management to one individual, then there is a great chance of embezzlement of the cash which that fellow may do. What is the control that I have kept? Is there any system in a place where the approvals are sought? Is there any system in a place where these transactions are recorded on a very timely basis? Are there any loopholes in the management of this cash management system? This is the internal control. See, internal auditors are not responsible to the management, though they are communicating with the management, but their primary target is to give the information to the shareholders related to the management of the company. So auditors may verify these transactions well. Now all the costs, try to understand, that should also be in the back of your mind, all the costs which you enter to remove agency problem are the agency cost. These are the agency cost you incur. So one suggestion given by Mr. Jigar is absolutely correct, that there has to be some internal control in a place. The proper rights and authority, the proper audit over those rights and authorities, whether there is any breach of authority done by any party or not, and what were the consequences of it, whether it was reached into the appropriate level of authority, how that matter got actually solved. That's the effective management control system at a place. Any other thing, Mr. Hardik is saying that according to me, able to make decisions and take action on behalf of impact of another person, an agency relationship occurs when a principal hires an agent to perform the same duty. Very true, Mr. Hardik. But the problem arises is that there is something called self-interest as well. Now agents, who are in this case is the management of the company, you cannot control this, you cannot control the desires to a level. They might take the profits out of some of the situations, which might be out of the control of the shareholders because they are not into day-to-day business of the company. What you are saying is absolutely correct. But the problem is that the conflict also take place. Number two is, many of the people, they have suggested give the to this management, give ownership to management. There are various companies who have clear-cut standards that if you are the CEO or CFO of the company, you must be holding at least this many number of shares of the company, or at least this much of the value of the shares of the company. You must have heard about a company called eBay, right? In the United States of America, if the CEO is appointed in the eBay company, in whatever the annual salary they are getting, they are supposed to hold at least 5 times of the shares of their annual salary. Then what will happen? That they would be little conscious now, because their profits are also inclined. Now management generally gets the fixed amount of share from the company, the fixed amount of salary. And when you are earning the fixed amount of salary from the company, you might not be interested much in the overall long term benefits of the company. आपको मालूम है सर, मेरे को तो 300 करोड़ मिलने ही वाले हैं, फिर मैं क्यों करूं? सत्य नंडेले को मालूम है कि मेरे को 1000 करोड़ देने ही वाली है माइक्रोसॉफ्ट, तो मैं क्यों ज्यादा एफर्ट्स लूं? In order to make them take more amount of efforts, you should also give some ownership to them. But I have discussed the cons as well of it. I have discussed the disadvantages of it as well. Now what will happen? By having the number of shares, they are the owners of the company. Now they have the price sensitive information too, and they are the owners as well. See, earlier the price sensitive information was only limited to the management, and the owners were the shareholders. Now if the owners also becomes the management, that means the management becomes the owners as well. At that time they have the deadly combination of the price sensitive information as well as the ownership. Now you can imagine that can also be the double edged sword. Double edged sword माने के दो धारी तलवार, लग भी सकती है खुद को और सामने वालों को भी काट सकती है. Now if one of the fellow from the management is anyway about to live in some number of years, then he would take the decisions which would be temporarily taking the market price up, and then once few numbers of years are elapsed, he would book his profits, and then he might leave from the company, and those decisions might not be well for the company for a long period of time, but he took it to increase the market price on a temporary basis. This is a very great problem. It's the eternal loop, it ends nowhere. So agency costs are something which has to be designed from company to company perspective. Even after having so many rules and regulations at a place, still the fraudulent practices are taking place in the industries. In spite of having the corporate governance framework at a place, things are happening. There was a one quote given by one of the philosophers, I have forgotten that name of him, that if you have more number of laws, consider that the population of that country is unethical and immoral. Laws की जरूरत कब पड़ती है? When people are not following it. When there is a need of any laws and regulations, first of all. When people are not following it. If everyone is abide by the self-governed rules and regulations, then what's the need of laws only? I have done this experiment quite a few times in my classes as well. When I used to give some of the tests to the students, I used to go outside the class, and then I used to observe that who are the people who are making the fraudulent practices in the class during this examination or the test. Then I used to explain them, and then once they were convinced intellectually that we shouldn't be doing this, then even without the control, they were doing it ethically. Now, you can imagine, just because of the fact that we are not following the laws and regulations, there is a tremendous cost incurred. Because of the fact that we might be doing the cheating in the examination, there has to be one supervisor. So that supervisor could be productively utilized in some activity which would have increased the value of the organization, of the people, of the society at a large. So there is an opportunity cost everywhere. Just because of the fact that we are not ethically sound, correct, there has to be some CCTV camera surveillances. So there has to be the new cost of CCTV cameras. Now, ultimately, who will be bearing the cost of the CCTV cameras? Ultimately, you only, because you are the customer who are paying to the university. Now, people are not understanding. Similarly, as a public as well, if we are doing the fraudulent practices, who is going to pay for it? Ultimately, us. Why there is a need of police? Why there is a need of so many authorities? Who will be bearing the burden of this many authorities and police and administration? Ultimately, the normal public is going to bear it, because out of our taxable money only, they will be paid. Similarly, in the company as well, if you will try to put so many validations, so many checks, so many bottlenecks, so many authorities and delegations of the authorities, then you will have to bear so much of cost as well for that. And ultimately, who will be bearing that cost? The company, the shareholders. That's why the integrity is something which matters the most. It's the financially proven fact that integrity matters the most. There are the financial repercussions. There are the financial consequences of the integrity. And I'm surprised to see that how can you take the pride of doing the immoral now? Do you know the constitution of the United Kingdom is London? They have not written the constitution at all. You may search it. Their fundamental argument behind not writing the constitution was that why there is a need to write any constitution at first place. Why there is any need to write the constitution only at the first place? United Kingdom have not written any constitution at all. Based on the base things which are in the best of the interest of the people, the decision has to be taken. People should be self-governed. Why there is a requirement to impose the restrictions on the people? And who are we to impose the restrictions on the people? Who is the government to impose the restrictions on the people? They are supposed to be to put it, because we are not understanding it. Anyway, that's altogether a different sort of an issue. But what I'm trying to convey is that there is no alternative of integrity. You try to incur the agency cost, but there is a no limit to it. You give them the shareholding to the management, they would have the feel of the ownership, understood. But the problem is that even that can also misfire. Even that can also backfire, because now they have the price sensitive information too, and along with that they have the shareholding too. They may take some temporary activities and decisions which might not be good for the longer period of time of the company, for their shareholders. Immediately take the profiteering from their positions. You put management control system at a place, you put the auditors at a place. The problem is that not everything can be handled by the auditors. They have the limited amount of scope. How much of cost you will be incurring for the auditors? Can you do the surveillance of the auditors 24/7 for all the branches putting together at the same time? No, they are done on the sampling basis. You will be cross-checking the samples. From 100, you cross-check 10. Because there is a tremendous amount of transactions takes place at the same time in the company. Can you verify each and every one? No. I'm not saying that by putting the system you cannot reduce it. Yes, by putting the system you can reduce it significantly, but there is a cost of the system as well, no? And number two thing, by putting the system, again there can be a problem that who has the power of that system now? Once everything is automated, then many of us might not be having the technical knowledge. Only few of the people might be having the technical knowledge of that system. So whether the proper standards, whether the proper practices are in a place where this information is stored properly, those who are there into the IT backup system, those who are there into the information data backup system, they would be having the tremendous power to enjoy this information if they have the knowledge to utilize this information further for their personal benefits. So the solution has to be found on the case-to-case basis. There is absolutely no perfect model to minimize this cost. No. You can do some of the temporary things. You can put the controls into the place. You can do so many other things as well, but not everything can be under a control. Ultimately, what matters is the integrity. Now, you can also appoint, as it was stated by Mr. Jigar Thakkar, that if there would be some independent directors in the board of directors who do not have any shareholding, independent directors are generally those people who do not enjoy much of the shareholding in the company. There are certain restrictions for the independent directors, and every company nowadays are supposed to put the independent directors in their board of the company. So those people are not very much influenced by the share prices and everything. So that's why they would be able to report in a better manner. Now that was a problem, no, with the Yes Bank. Now the prices went down like anything in the Yes Bank just after one of the directors from the board of directors got resigned without giving any justification in the public. And Yes Bank also did not give any justification in the public. That was before this came of, this entire fraudulent practice of Yes Bank came out. You may search that further as well. So for the next session, you will be reading that case study of Cyrus Mistry and Ratan Tata, the entire conflict between both of them, the Tata Sons and the Sapoji Poonawalla group. And then we'll try to complete this agency problem to the great extent. So that's my humble submission, request to read that case study before we meet in the next session again. Please put your enrollment number as a mark of your attendance today. If you have any question or queries, you couldn't understand anything, let me know right now. Else I'm assuming that you have got everything. Any question or queries, anything which you couldn't understand, well, let me know, please.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, could you please check our message?
What should I check?
Could you please check our inbox?
Inbox. So which message particularly? Can you convey that to me orally?
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, sorry, sir, I not properly understood agency problem.
Okay. So see, agency problem is all about there is a conflict between the management and shareholders. Now, management are the people who are the CEOs, officers who are handling the company. And shareholders are the outside people who are the owners of the company, who are having the shares of the company. Generally, both of these parties are different, right? Now, what happens is that both of them have their own self-interest. Management might be taking some information for their own benefits, which might not be good for the shareholders. And shareholders might try to, take the advantage of the company, which might not be good for the company on a long period of time. And management is reluctant to share that information. So there is a constant war going between The management and shareholders. Shareholders wants to know about what are the things happening in the company. Now, if management will be sharing those things to the shareholders, then shareholders may take the undue advantage of it. Now, management have the great amount of information because they are into the day-to-day business of the company, right? Now, they may misutilize that information as well. They may, they may charge the higher amount of salaries for them. They may take the undue advantage of the funds of the company. Shareholders are not very much aware about them. They may utilize the perquisites for their personal benefits. Perquisites means any of the things which are provided by the company for their business purposes. They may utilize it for their personal purposes too. Who will be taking care of it? Now there is one more decision where this kind of a conflict which may arise. Now management might be reluctant to give the dividend to the shareholders because management might be wanting it for the further expansion of the company. Ultimately, for the company, there are two options. One is to give the dividend or not to give the dividend. If they give it, then company will be not having the funds, and if they keep it with them, then they would be utilize it further in their business, right? Now shareholders might be requiring their dividend. They would be like, we want the dividend, otherwise we'll be firing you off. Because ultimately shareholders can appoint the management, shareholders can remove it, and management might be reluctant to give the dividend. So there can be various decision points where the stance of shareholders as well as the management might be different, and that's why the conflict arises, and that's why the agency cost has to be bared. So there are various solutions given by the people. One can be you give the shareholding to the management only, so that they would be having the feeling of ownership, and if they would be having the feeling of ownership, they would be putting their more efforts for the betterment of the company. Number two is that you can put some internal control system at a place. You may audit their transactions. If you have some proper checks and authorities, some validations, then their actions would be under the surveillance. So you can control some unethical practices which which management might be doing. So these are called as the agency costs. All the costs you incur to remove this agency problem are called as the agency cost. Is it clear, Ms. Sathi, now?
Yes, sir. I understood now. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you so much.